Traditional networking advice is a complete waste of time and utter BS. And I believe that 99% of you guys are also networking in the wrong way, in the wrong time, and you are wasting your time. So I'm sure you've heard this a million times. You are the average of the 5% that you spend the most time with, from the TikTok gurus and the self-claimed millionaires on TikTok and Instagram and social media. And 99% of the time, they give the wrong tips to the wrong people at the wrong time. So if you're sitting at home right now and watching this video and thinking about networking being the most important thing in your life, you are wrong. You're thinking about networking in the complete wrong way. So a little bit about myself. I've been in tech for the last 5 years. I started off by doing an internship at Google in 2019. I was the first ever intern from Coventry University in the history of the university. They made an entire newspaper article about me. If you type in my name on Google, Bilal Said Gul, you should be able to find that newspaper article. And I managed to get that internship at Google in 2019 through networking, but in the right way, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And then at the end of this video, I'll share with you my top 3 tips on how to be a better networker and how to actually network in the right way, which 99% of gurus don't tell you. So when I was at university, so I went to a really bad university, terrible rankings, terrible education, complete waste of time. Most people that were studying with me were not motivated people, were not successful people, were not intelligent people. They were good people, good friends, obviously great people, but not the right type of people that you want to hang out with if you want to be as successful as possible in business or entrepreneurship or in a corporate job. So when I went to Coventry University, I realized that a lot of people around me were complete time wasters in terms of my values in life, which was to be successful as possible in business. So what I started doing was going and hanging out with Warwick University kids. And Warwick University is one of the top universities in the country, top 10, I think. And it's only a half an hour bus ride from Coventry University. And one of my best friends and 2 of my other friends were studying there at the time. So I made sure to go to as many society events at Warwick University, and I started making friends there, started networking there, making friends there. And what happened was I bumped into someone who told me about a program which was called SEO London. It's still active. Go to Google, type in SEO London. And SEO London run a community where they would help people from disprivileged backgrounds, so people, Black people, Asian people, Muslim people, basically people from poor backgrounds, break into high-paying jobs in tech, finance, and commercial law. And this guy told me about it. I joined the community a few months after. They helped me get an interview at Google in the Dublin office. And essentially what I did was, before interviewing, I messaged 15 people from Google. 2 of them responded to me. One of them, who's already interning at Google, got on a call with me, told me all the interview questions, gave me all the interview answers. I did the 4-stage interview at Google, and I got my Google internship. That's how good networking is done. So initially, I knew that I wouldn't have a good network at Coventry University. So I went to a better university and hanged out with people that were interested in the same things as me. I attended society events, parties, went to people's houses, like university homes, hanged out with them, made friends. And over time, through pure luck, I met people that were like-minded, that wanted to get into high-paying jobs and wanted to start businesses. And some of those guys told me about this program, SEO London. And then I joined. I took the initiative to join. And then I took the initiative to network with the right people, do the right things at SEO London, which led me to the internship interview at Google. And then I did the right things, which is to network with people that already worked at Google. They gave me everything I needed to successfully pass the interview stages and get the job and become the first ever Coventry University student to intern at Google. Now, by the way, I made 12,000 euros in that 3-month-long internship. And the average starting salary at Google at the time in 2019 was 65,000 euros. And if you add that up with inflation, I'm sure it's like 80K right now. I'm sure it is. I haven't checked it, but I'm sure it is. And 21, 22-year-olds were making that salary in 2019 at Google. So it's a big deal, right? And a lot of the people that I did an internship with at Google, for example, one of the guys that was in my intern class, he now runs a meal prep business. I forgot what it's called, but he's an Indian guy. He's really big on TikTok and social media. The brand that he's got, he's making millions a year in revenue. He works with footballers. He was on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Another guy that was in my intern class became the VP of a $1 billion company a couple of years after the internship. And many other people are now very successful in high-paying jobs, making multiple 6 figures. So it's a life-changing opportunity. That's why I make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. And the chances are you actually have a higher chance of going to Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard than you are at Google, just because they have so few limited spaces. Not that I think it's the biggest deal in the world, but I'm just emphasizing Why to me at that time, it was a big deal. So I just explained to you how I networked my way into a job at Google, into an internship at Google. Now you have to think about how you can apply that story to your own life. So if I wanted to get a job today in the tech sales industry or in a tech company, the first thing that I would do is I would create an ideal list of companies, 10 companies that I would love to work for and 10 job titles that I would love to be in those companies. And then from there, I would create a list of all the decision makers at those companies that have the decision-making power to give me the job. And then I would look into my first degree connections, second degree connections as pathways to get in touch with this person. If I don't have any, I would just email them, message them on LinkedIn or call them. And then from there, you're not going to ask for a referral or a job straight away, right? Or an interview straight away. You're going to build a relationship with them over a couple of weeks, and then you can ask for a referral or a job interview or whatever. Other places that you can look into to get an interview at these ideal list of companies is to look at your university alumni, your previous job alumni, or just general people that you know online or in person. Now, that's what we call contextualized networking. Networking is only useful when you have a goal in mind, when you have an end goal in mind, right? So a lot of people, and this is the mistake that I used to make when I was really young, 16, 17, 18, I used to email and LinkedIn message random people. They would love to get your thoughts, would love to pick your brain on this bullshit. Even though I have no value to offer, this person is super busy, clearly doesn't know me, doesn't even know that I exist, and is a multimillionaire and is somehow going to spend time on a phone call with a 18-year-old. What's the value transfer that you're giving to the other person? I get loads of messages now since I have a TikTok presence from random people saying, hey, I would love to pick your brain. Can you review my CV? No, I would not review your CV. Why would I review your CV, bro? Like, what value do you bring to me? I don't know you. Why would I review your CV, right? Now, it's the same thing with people that are super successful. You have to have value that you can provide back to them. There has to be context in the relationship. You must have built a relationship over a couple of weeks or a couple of months or a long enough period of time when you can ask for something. So that's why I think a lot of networking advice is complete bullshit. With regards to the 3 tips that I would give you when it comes to being a successful networker is number 1, do cool shit, build value, right? Build skills, do cool shit, post about it online. Other interesting people will find you and will message you, and that way you build a relationship. So recently I was on a podcast and one of the guys was a friend, right? So I knew him from before, but we weren't close friends, right? We didn't stay in touch for like 5 years, but he messaged me on TikTok saying, hey, we would love to have you on our podcast. And I didn't message them. I didn't reach out to them. I didn't try and network my way into a fucking podcast. They reached out to me because they saw that I was doing cool shit and I was posting about it online. And he reached out to me and then I did a podcast, which was a 3-hour podcast, which for me is more visibility, free content, and a good network, right? Now imagine if I just DM them saying, hey bro, I know you have a podcast. I would love to come on and talk about shit. Even though I got nothing to talk about. I got no value. I don't post about it, but I want to get on your podcast because I'm a fucking loser, right? I wouldn't have a response. So tip number 1, do cool shit. Build value, build skills, post about it online, whether it's on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, doesn't matter. Step number 2, join highly specific communities online with people that have the same interests, passions, or skills as you, or they want to do the same thing as you. You can find these communities on meetup.com, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on social media. For example, for people that want to break into high-paying tech jobs, we have a community. We have over 200 people that are in our community right now. And we have a WhatsApp community and everyone's super active in there. People have made friends in that group. People have got jobs out of that group. People have lifelong friends from that group. People are getting referrals from that group because they're all interested in the same thing. They've all paid to join, which means they're committed. And now they get access to me without messaging me saying, can you review my CV, even though I'm a nobody and I don't even know you. Join specific contextualized groups of people online that have the same interests, goals, and passions as you. And I would highly recommend, by the way, that you join paid ones, really expensive ones, if you can afford them. If you can't, get the cheap ones. Never join free ones, because free ones are full of normies and people that are just dabbling in things. I've joined probably 50 communities for the last 5 years. Entrepreneurship communities, content communities, social skills communities, YouTube communities, TikTok communities, and the top 1% of them that were actually life-changing and I made great friends and had really good value were expensive. So when I say expensive, I'm talking about a couple of $100 a month to upwards of £5,000 pounds just to join the group. So join online communities. Step number three, get out of your own head and ask people for help. The vast majority of people in the world that are semi-successful or ultra-successful are good people, are nice people. They want to help a superstar, an upcoming superstar. So if you work really hard and you have value to provide and you have a good skill set, reach out to people, message people, but do it in the right way. Don't be a value leech, provide value first and then ask for value back. Because the vast majority of ultra-successful or semi-successful people are good people, nice people. They know what networking is. They know the value of networking. Reach out to as many people as possible, but do it in a good way, in a contextualized way where you're providing value first before asking for value. So for example, if you want to reach out to me, for example, right, and you somehow think I'm cool and successful, whatever, and you want to reach out to me, the best thing to do is to see what I'm struggling with right now in my business or with my TikTok page or whatever, and then reach out to me providing value by saying, hey, Bilal, I saw your TikTok page. This is your current thumbnails. This is what I think you should do, bro. And here's an entire step-by-step breakdown on how you can do that. You can just get that online. You don't even have to make it yourself. Or you can be like, hey, man, I saw that you're not even posting anything on LinkedIn. Here is a step-by-step content strategy for LinkedIn. And I would even love to help you out for free. Does it make sense to speak about this? That way you speak to me, you give me that value, and then in return, we become friends. And then in return, I help you get a job in tech sales, etc. You can apply that formula to basically anyone to an extent. Obviously, you can't reach out to Elon Musk because 1 billion people a day reach out to Elon Musk, but to an extent, this strategy works at a very high level. I've done it myself. When I was 22, 23 years old, I started an e-commerce business, which was a duplicate version of the brand called Huel, which was a meal that had all the nutrients that you needed, that it would replace, that you buy at Tesco's and Sainsbury's. So our product would basically replace a shit meal deal that you buy. It would be tasty, healthy, nutritious, 400 calories, etc. We started this business, and then me and my friend at that time reached out to loads of people. We had 2 replies. One of them was a company that was selling really innovative towels. And this company had got on to the Dragon's Den show on the BBC. The guy replied to me. He gave me advice. He even reviewed my product idea and he gave me feedback. He didn't even know that I existed, but he saw all the hard work that I put into reaching out to him and all the hard work that I put into my idea. Okay, so see that I was a superstar, and rich people, successful people want to help superstars. Another crazy example is the CEO of a company called Hubble, which is a contact lenses business, spoke to me and my friend on the phone for half an hour. This guy's company is valued at over $200 million. The way that we got in touch with him is we followed him on social media. We saw an online event that he was attending, a really small online event. There must have been like 20 people on that. Me and my friend were the 2 people there. We said, hey, would love to chat. This is my name. This is my friend's name. This is the idea that we have. After that call, we emailed him, sent him our idea. He got on a half an hour call. I still have the recording of that call. But again, he only helped me because we had some relationship already, because we were on the same online event. He could see that I was an up-and-coming superstar because of all the hard work that I put into it. And he appreciated the outreach from a guy that are trying to build a similar business in the e-commerce space. Not a similar business, but an e-commerce business, because he had a very successful e-commerce business. So that's another 2 examples for you to take home. I hope this was useful. I talk about networking, personal branding, tech sales, tech jobs, corporate careers, and how you can improve your life in general as a man. If you're interested, subscribe, put the notifications on. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.